When fairy tale glamour collides with Hollywood power plays, sparks are inevitable, but no one expected the explosion now echoing across the industry. Tonight we're unpacking two friendships that once looked unbreakable: Meghan Markle's 20-year bond with stylist Jessica Mulroney and her headline-making alliance with billionaire media titan Tyler Perry. Both relationships ended in silence, lawsuits, and career carnage, and by the end of the next 10 minutes, you'll see why insiders now call the Sussex brand radioactive and whether there's any path back from the damage done. Before royal titles and Netflix deals, Meghan Markle was a cable TV actor hustling for invitations to the right rooms. Standing beside her was Toronto society powerhouse Jessica Mulroney. Mulroney didn't just lend gowns, she opened doors, introducing Meghan to Canadian elites, polishing her public image, even coaching her on press strategy. She masterminded the soft blue aesthetic of the royal wedding, taught Meghan the difference between a curtsey and a courts-appropriate nod, and placed her own 7-year-old daughter Ivy in the bridal party next to Princess Charlotte. That level of involvement isn't stylist, client, it's family. So what went wrong? June 2020. While the world debated racial justice after George Floyd's murder, Mulroney clashed publicly with lifestyle blogger Sasha Exeter. Screenshots hit Twitter, and within hours, brands panicked. CTV shelved Jessica's show I Do Redo. Good Morning America deleted her contributor page, and sponsors bolted faster than you could refresh a feed. Reporters asked the obvious question: where was Meghan, the friend whose image Jessica had spent a decade protecting? Meghan stayed silent. No supportive tweet, no private statement that leaked by accident, only whispers that Jessica was no longer in the inner circle. Mulroney lost more than contracts. She lost a decades-long friendship. Her only public remark? Difficult moments show you who your real friends are. Now fast forward to early 2020 on the other side of the continent. Prince Harry and Meghan, fresh from their royal exit, needed security and housing. Enter Tyler Perry, director, producer, and self-made billionaire. He dispatched what staff dubbed the Freedom Flight, his private jet, to whisk the Sussexes to Los Angeles, then housed them in his Beverly Hills estate for 3 months, footing a reported 6-figure security bill. Grateful, Harry and Meghan named him godfather to their daughter Lilibet. Less than 4 years later, that relationship is in free fall, and a $260 million lawsuit lit the fuse. In April 2024, actor Derek Dixon filed suit alleging sexual harassment and battery by Tyler Perry, claiming misconduct began on BET drama Ruthless and escalated at Perry's Atlanta compound, the same property where the Sussex family once stayed. Perry's lawyers called it extortion. Dixon said he had screenshots. Whichever way the case lands, Hollywood is watching. For Harry and Meghan, the stakes are brutal. Speak up and risk backing a future defendant, or stay silent and appear ungrateful to the man who sheltered them. They chose silence. Separate scandals, identical Sussex playbook, accept generosity, vanish when controversy strikes. Industry strategist Dana Caldwell puts it bluntly: in Hollywood, loyalty is currency. Withdraw it and your account hits zero. And that's precisely what happened. Within weeks of the Perry headline, HBO Max shelved a Sussex documentary concept, Amazon Studios ghosted R12 over a podcast, and Disney, once keen on Meghan's voiceover work, went radio silent. Talent agency CAA reportedly advised marquee clients to steer clear. Even A-list hosts quietly scrubbed the couple from guest lists, worried that association might cost them favor with more valuable power brokers. Inside Perry's camp, another breakpoint surfaced. Insiders say the billionaire's final straw came when Meghan asked to borrow his Gulfstream again. Already battling a lawsuit that threatened his entire empire, Perry refused, signaling he was done being a personal ATM. A second sore spot emerged when footage filmed inside his mansion appeared in the Sussexes' Netflix series without explicit sign-off. Cease and desist letters flew, and the friendship flatlined for good. For Meghan and Harry, the fallout is existential. Their after-royal career rests on alliances eager to trade resources for royal sparkle, but sparkle dims when allies fear they'll be discarded at the first whiff of trouble. Reputation analysts call it steep decay. Pull out one keystone like Tyler Perry and the arch collapses. Could they rebound? Hollywood loves a comeback, but it demands humility, accountability, and, above all, reciprocal loyalty. 3 concrete moves could stop the slide. First, take a public stance on Perry. Support due process, offer genuine concern, or formally distance. Ambiguity helps no one. Second, repair the Mulroney bridge. A private apology often leaks and signals growth. Third, produce instead of pontificate. Deliver a strong documentary on veterans or children's mental health to realign with the values they claim to champion. Each option requires vulnerability, scarce in Sussex communications so far. Jessica Mulroney's grace and Tyler Perry's lawsuit may seem unrelated, but connect the dots and you find a cautionary tale about relational equity. Spend it recklessly and the bill arrives publicly, painfully, all at once. Industry insiders predict that without a course correction, the Sussex brand will keep shrinking until it's a curious footnote, not a marketable force. Yet the same insiders admit Hollywood can be astonishingly forgiving when a star shows accountability. Whether Meghan and Harry seize that opportunity or double down on silence, we'll decide if this fairy tale ends with redemption or with the leads written out entirely. If today's breakdown helped you cut through the noise, consider sharing it. There's more to unpack in the weeks ahead, and every new headline rewrites the script. Until then, remember, in a town built on relationships, loyalty remains the one commodity no one can afford to lose. Jessica Mulroney's grace and Tyler Perry's lawsuit may seem unrelated, but connect the dots and you find a cautionary tale about relational equity. Spend it recklessly and the bill arrives publicly, painfully, all at once. Industry insiders predict that without a course correction, the Sussex brand will keep shrinking until it's a curious footnote, not a marketable force. Yet the same insiders admit Hollywood can be astonishingly forgiving when a star shows accountability. Whether Meghan and Harry seize that opportunity or double down on silence, we'll decide if this fairy tale ends with redemption or with the leads written out entirely. If today's breakdown helped you cut through the noise, consider sharing it. There's more to unpack in the weeks ahead, and every new headline rewrites the script. Until then, remember, in a town built on relationships, loyalty remains the one commodity no one can afford to lose. Across the Atlantic, Buckingham Palace is watching with a mix of caution and quiet vindication. Courtiers have long insisted that stepping back from royal duty would diminish the Sussexes' long-term influence. The current implosions provide a real-time case study. Royal historian Caroline Stansfield notes that Edward VIII and Wallis Simpson enjoyed a burst of glamour after abdication, only to become social novelties once the press moved on. The Sussexes risk a faster rerun on a digital timeline. Today's trending topic, tomorrow's muted algorithm. Public sentiment bears that out. A composite of recent YouGov and Morning Consult polls shows the couple's favorability in the United Kingdom hovering near the low 20s, and in the United States, once their safest market, sliding below 40% for the first time. Younger audiences are especially responsive to perceived inauthenticity. Internet culture rewards transparency